21 years ago, he stepped into an empty warehouse. Nobody had the vision that he had. And he said, I'm going to put an ice rink in here. And a lot of people laughed at him at the time and said it's not going to work.
When he first brought my brother and I in, he came in and he said, see this place right here? I'm going to build a rink.
So when my son was about 8 years old, I built a little tiny rink in the backyard for him to practice his shooting. And I would be looking out of the kitchen window, and I came up with a few ideas of, hey, you know what, if I teach him to do some lateral movement out there and things like that on the small space, let's see what happens. And his game went through the roof.
I started getting better at hockey just simply because my dad built me a backyard rink, and I would go out and I'd shoot pucks, I would stick handle, I would skate. And he got the light bulb idea, like, hey, this doesn't exist in our area.
So I came up with the idea that I could be working with kids on a smaller ice surface.
He had that vision, and he worked 80-hour work weeks to make this place work when I was a young kid. He gave me the opportunity to be on the ice all year round. And because of that, I am now in the position that I am today.
We are a family business. We started over 20 years ago by myself. I was a one-man show. I even brought my mother in. She was a retired executive assistant, so she came in to help me out on the business side of things. Then as my kids grew older, they took an interest in coming in here as well.
I was able to be a kid in here. I was able to enjoy it as a kid, as a player, as a student, and then transferring into the coach side of things.
It's not just about how we take players to the highest level they can get to. It's also about how we can coach them as an individual and how we can impact their lives.
I have a personal attachment to this building. You know, I grew up here. My handprints are in the concrete in the Zamboni room. This is my house.
There are many families that have come through here for years, and they become a part of our family. It's just great to see their kids succeed and then see how proud their parents are.
He would show up to hockey for his team that first practice, and parents would be like, what did you do with Sam? So, well, he's gone where he always goes. You have no choice but to get better.
One thing that's very important to us here is family, and we like to have that personal approach because we're taking that type of approach with you and your development, because I am invested in your success.
I think the Pond's been an excellent place for Darnell. I think that, you know, they take a personal touch and they take an understanding on who your kid is when you come here. I mean, Greg, Michelle, and Ryan, they know every kid that walks through the door personally, and they take a personal experience in that kid, and they want that kid to be successful.
I didn't want the Pond to be just another hockey rink. I wanted it to be a community center for the kids. So when you walk into the Pond, we're an overall experience. It's not just ice that we throw your kids on and try to get the most out of them. We made a nice atmosphere in our lobby area so that parents will feel comfortable coming in here.
Our focus is shifting to elite hockey players. We are adding a gym facility to become a full suite here. There's a smoothie bar going in for nutrition. Our players, when they come here, we want them to be able to come here and just have what they need to succeed.
Ryan and I are very driven. We're still young. We're ready to push forward, to take this business to another level, to help continue to develop local hockey players, to continue to give back to the community. It's really exciting to visualize where we're going next.